Hello, everybody, and welcome to Off the Table Life on Marr'd. This is a game run by our lovely Grant in the Cypher system. I'm not going to dig too much into it. I'm sure we'll get to it. So we're just going to go around and do intros, let you know who we're playing today, and then Grant will take it away. So I am Summer, and I am playing Silhouette, who is an empathetic explorer who speaks for the land, but maybe not so much anymore. Marsie. Oh, you're muted. Tia. Yeah. Kienna. No. Oh, what? Oh no, oh no, I don't know what's happening. Hold on. No, I don't know what's happening. Somebody say something. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, everybody. Guys, I literally don't know how to fix it. Oh.
And
No. No, it's on. No.
Okay, so click
Oh,
on
there it
your
goes.
dog and go to
They heard me.
settings.
No, it's
they heard
working.
me singing. They
Okay.
had me for a second.
It's working
Caught
now.
in a rebound of a hip hop.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I literally don't understand. I'm not technology. So sorry, everybody. We're gonna do it again. Marsie, if you don't care to do this again, I am so sorry.
This time my audio is working.
Yeah, that's true.
My name is Marsie Vellan, and I am playing Veriside, an impulsive explorer who names.
Tia.
I am playing Atropos, a morose time traveler who feels the weight of existence on her shoulders at all times.
Oh no, that one was worse than the last time.
Having first wife flashbacks.
Kienna.
Hi, I'm Kienna, and I am playing Mytia, the mad adept who sees beyond.
And I guess that leaves you, Grant.
Well, you know, summer job. We're gonna crank every knob, telling tales about life on Marr'd, making sure the players don't get too scarred because they lost their beloved brother Matthew. And I'm going to throw every trial at you. If I had a phaser, I think I'd zap you, because I'm a bad boy glasses-wearing game master, dropping these confessions to the chat room, pastor. Off the Table is my favorite Twitch broadcaster. I know I'm taking too long, so I'll go faster. We're playing games in the Cypher system. It's a little different, so won't you listen? Task levels go from 1 to 10. Asset skills and abilities lower them. You roll a d20. If you're higher than your target, then you win. But if you roll a nat 1, there could be an intrusion. So now we're going to try to keep it stable as we dive into episode 2 here on Off the Table.
Yay.
Oh no, the hashtag good girls against Grant. Oh no.
It's here. It's here.
If there's a game where it's really allowed, it's Project Athena, but it's also kind of allowed here.
This is my show. It's allowed here.
Bam! She really has gone to the dark side. Didn't take long at all. Drunk on power.
All the power has gone to Summer's head. So,
I can't even deny.
When last we left our intrepid heroes on Life on Marr'd, which is a game that is my love letter to tabletop role-playing. It is set in the Cypher system, developed by Monty Cook Games, and based on a setting that was written by Judd Karlman in 2006. And it was a setting for the game Sorcerer. And the theme behind Sorcerer is or rather the controlling idea, is a demon is a dysfunctional relationship. And they designed the Dictionary of Mood to sort of explore this theme in a sword and sorcerer setting on a dying planet. And last week we introduced our players, and the Blessed Sisters were sent on a quest to heal the crystal of Alizace. And there were several things that occurred on that trip. The first thing that occurred was a meeting at a great stone table. And Kienna, I'd like you, to the best of your recollection, to describe the meeting that occurred at the great stone table.
The meeting was mostly warm and welcoming, thanks to Silhouette having, expressing much of her love, bringing everyone into a group hug. There had been some discussion as the siblings have come together for the first time in 2 years, and kind of seeing where each other were at in terms of the relationship. Each of them arrived one by one, with, I believe, Marduk, our brother, arriving last with a companion and cake, because that's what a good brother does, is bring cake.
And after the meeting at the stone table, a visitor arrived. Tia, who is playing Atropos, what can you recall about this visitor? They made a specific request before they gave you the key to Lemuria, which was the land of witches and warlocks you were going to enter. Do you recall?
I know that they asked me. I know that I was asked to have like an eye, like look into it and have that, and then after that, taking the chest over there. But no, I don't. Was that it?
No, that was exactly it.
Okay.
She desired to gaze upon you, and she did. And then afterwards, you went into the land of Lemuria, essentially the land of the Witch King, and all of his brides and grooms. You came to the Great Black Wall of Lemuria, and you encountered an army of sorts. Veriside, can you describe that encounter to us?
That army was there because they were transporting slaves from Atlantis to give as wives to the Witch King. And I freed them in exchange for the memory of my history, represented by a mask from my first family.
Marsie has that authoritative, spooky, sad voice that has already given me the shivers.
I'm very unhappy with them.
I understand.
I'm glad I'm not them. Oh my god.
They allowed you to pass, and you made your way to a pyramid. Silhouette, played by Summer, describe to us what happened inside the pyramid.
Our brother Marduk's traveling companion essentially turned on us and revealed that he had been harboring a demon, and essentially she wanted to stop us from healing the crystal. So she attacked us, began to turn all the sisters into demons, and then went to kill Marduk. And he was able to free his soul, but kind of in revenge, she cursed Silhouette to be a demon.
And thus the adventure will begin with poor Silhouette on the floor, her color drained from her, and each player has been assigned a prompt. We're going to start with Atropos, who was asked to define a historical record, how she remembers her fallen brother Marduk. So, Atropos, take it away.
Dearest brother, there was always a calm in our world, the calm before the storm. You came into our world like a brilliant flash of light. You were the brightest to arrive. You were the strike of lightning in our hearts. The storm has passed, and we, your sisters, are the cacophonous echo of your strength, the thunder that rolls after your luminous light has left us. The loss of you is the scar on our hearts. And I will see you again, as I am not strong enough to live on without you. I will go back to that time. I will go back to that time, time and time again, because I cannot say goodbye.
Atropos, you may take a 1 experience point for answering that prompt. And Kienna, will you please read your prompt and give the title of it beforehand? Kienna will be playing Mytia tonight.
So this is called Cut Golden Threads. So, golden threads that ties us together, cut, severed, gone. Our bonds are falling apart. They're fraying. My sisters are splitting apart from me, and because our binding has been cut, severed, gone, it's dark. The light's gone. All I see are the stars as they scream at me for not protecting my sister. My golden sister still cut, severed, gone. They are stars in her eyes as she looked at me. Stars as she looked up to me. They are just extinguished, cut, severed, gone. Maybe remembering her will bring her back to me. Wave her back into my life by finding her thread cut, severed, gone. I choose to remember her as sunlight, as gold, as warmth, as love, as life. I choose to remember Silhouette, my blessed sister who walked the plains, her golden threads always beside me, cut, severed, gone. Where is she? Where is she? Our golden thread. Cut, severed, gone.
Take an experience point. Wow. Yeah, that was intense. And Veriside,
Yes,
you please read your prompt.
of course. This is the moment. This is the moment the eclipse hits. We wait for its passing. It sparks, it lingers, it exists. We are a helpless audience to an eclipse. Vile fingers sow dissonance, rip despair from our lips. The silhouette against the sun, light external, within none. And still we wait. This is the moment. This is the moment that wildfire burns through the Christ plains. The moment the compromised walls of Battlehymn begin to crumble after a devastating blow. This is the moment the darkness falls and coolness sweeps over the land. This is that bright diamond on the eclipse. The moment the last inch of her soul was scraped from her body, that single grain from which life grew, now the last to leave through the pinhole of the hourglass. Our golden sister, brighter than the Atlanteans' crystal towers far above the dust storms, brighter than the sunlight's reflection from Octon Lake, here, now gone. The waking nightmare, soft-boiled, half memory, half real, half raw. The equinox fades. This is the moment I realize I do not remember Silhouette, simply the outline that her name begets.
And Marsie, take an experience point. Man, this is going to be a tough session. And Silhouette, will you read your prompt?
Why can't I feel the hum? She usually sends a steady rhythm through the soles of my feet. It pulses up my legs through my chest and resonates in my heart. My heart. But I can't feel it. Why can't I feel my fingertips? Fingertips that won't ache for my... Who was he? His face, I can remember, seems to be fading, as if these fingertips that can't feel can't reach and pull him back to me, and even as I keep reaching for him, I find that I don't want to. I don't need him now. Why can't I feel my heart beating? Something that moments ago was thumping in my ears and aching in my chest has ceased. Did it stop with him? My Marduk. Someone I held dear, someone I looked up to. It's all gone. Erased. I am separated from myself by a great canyon. I am so far from her that I can't even see her face. I can only see her wave and hear the faintest whisper of her voice echoing across this canyon back at me. Love them always. How can I? This is what I am. I do not feel the hum of the earth, nor the heat in my fingertips, nor the beating of my heart, nor my long-remembered love for anyone. There is only this. The string that ties me to this planet, and the string that ties this planet to life. It is the bond of Marr'd, the bond that brought me here, and now begs me to sever it from this prison, the prison of fate, the prison of life and death and love and hate. I am apart from that prison, but it yearns to reclaim me. I am Silhouette, the breaker of bonds, and I will not rest until I see them each destroyed.
And with that, Silhouette's eyes open. As you look and roll 20, I am dropping 2 tokens onto the map. One, on the left, represents the crystal. Unhealed, incomplete, cracked. The second, on the right, is Silhouette's demon clock. This represents her slowly losing all aspects of humanity and life. She is in fact a demon, but she has not been driven straight to hell yet. Though that is coming and on its way. As you notice, the ground where Marduk's body once lay and the Prima Diavola initiated the ritual has caused a tunnel to go deep through the bottom of the floor of the pyramid, down to the depths of the mythic underworld, the hell itself below the surface of the world. The pyramid itself begins to shake, begins to crack, begins to rumble. The crystal has been wounded, and though Silhouette is changed, you all must take part and attempt to heal the crystal. The devil is gone, along with Marduk. The pharaoh mummy remains. What do you do? And the adventure begins. Silhouette, you also get an experience point. As your eyes open, a large pair of pure gold scissors, bathed in a glow of fire, appear in your hands. They're like large garden shears. Mytia, you see the threads that once bound all of your sisters to you beginning to reform, all but silhouettes. The adventure begins.
You see Natia look, at least from the outside, like she's grabbing at nothing, but for her, she is grabbing onto the strings that are her sisters, and she's confused. She's looking around. She can't see the golden one, the one that's always been intertwined. She can't see them, and she's looking around. She's confused. She's looking wide-eyed, and you'll notice that though she was in the middle of a transformation of demon, and that had stopped, there remains a mark where beneath her circlet, there's now a single third eye on her forehead. What? And she plucks at one of the strings and says, Atropos, and plucks at another. Veriside. She looks up. Where's Syl?
Has she coalesced again as her new form?
Syl is awake. Her eyes are open. The light has gone out of them, but she will respond to you if she chooses to, as she can in fact hear you all.
I'm gonna go and brush her hair kind of out of her face, and it's time to wake up now, honey.
She kind of is looking past you, and looking down into her hands with these scissors. And I think that you can see her shaking. And she just is starting to like slowly look around as if like trying to remember what's happened.
Now, Silhouette, as you see Atropos before you, you notice a large, glowing, pulsating, screaming, violently placed eye across her. And it almost appears to be calling out to all the reaches of the universe to come place their eyes upon her. You can hear the sounds. The other sisters could probably see the eye if they checked. However, they would not hear the screams the same way you do.
She would get up and move towards it, like almost not seeing anything else.
Okay. You now stand face to face with Atropos. It is clearly affixed to her body. Atropos, you start to see the light coming off of you as well.
Can I use anticipation to try and see what she's about to do? Like how she's going to react to me? She's not acting like herself. She doesn't... it's an enabler. One intellect point, you can look ahead to see how your actions unfold. You have the...
It'll give you skill on the next round. If you want to talk about how this plays out fictionally, Silhouette, what are your intentions?
Do I think? Are you going to be hostile towards me, or are you just going to like explore and see?
I think this is like all she can hear, and it's like almost deafening. So she wants it to end.
Ooh.
That is okay.
Silhouette, you can end the scream with your scissors if you choose to. Do you?
I think it seems like she could, but there's like this war that's kind of raging inside of her, and she takes like a step forward and then 2 steps back, and she's just holding these scissors in one of her hands. Just, it's so loud.
Veriside, how do you respond to this? What's your mood?
The pyramid is shaking and the crystal needs to heal. I'm concerned about Marduk's body. Has it fallen into that chasm?
No, it was carried away in a wreath of fire by a phoenix.
Oh, I thought that was his soul and then his body. Okay.
Well, now, you do make a clear distinction. You notice the pharaoh is taking his body away.
Okay, good pharaoh. Good job.
He goes, it is my job to cart it to the heavens.
Good job. Keep doing it. Just keep up the good work. Thanks. I'm going to go to the crystal and stare at my sisters and say, we must heal this crystal.
And
I'm more concerned about being stabbed with scissors right now. In the immediate, I want to heal that, but I also want to know, with my magic training, would I have any concept of what she's talking about? Like why my my body is screaming to her. Do I understand that it's an eye from my anticipation?
Make a intellect task difficulty 2.
Oh.
So okay, so you would have succeeded. You know that when Sarina, the witch, gazed upon you, she had marked you. And right about now, the mark is crying out to every witch and warlock in Lemuria, saying, "Here I am, come find me." They know you're here.
And she can hear that as well.
Yes, Silhouette can.
Well, that's not any good.
They're coming.
I know.
It's attached to you. You have to get it off.
I can't.
Now, Silhouette, if you want to sever the eye, you don't have to physically touch her.
Okay.
You can do this spectrally and spiritually and cut the call. Do you?
Yes.
All right. So, as you cut the binds, the demon clock progresses, and you sacrifice a bit of humanity, and it advances to the second position. It is now 4 o'clock. And essentially, you no longer hear the cries, and none of you see the eye marked on Atropos anymore. However, that eye was on her for a good long while. The Pharaoh looks, he goes, "Do what you came to do, lassies. It's that crystal, it's the balance of the universe. The whole planet of Marr'd."
I look over to the crystal with my sisters.
He's loading Marduk into a chariot. And he kind of looks, he goes, "He is heavier than he looks." And yeah, he begins pulling the chariot out of the room.
Wait.
He ate a lot of cake.
I walk up to the Pharaoh and I pull out one of the marbles from my bag and I just kind of tuck it into a pocket or something of Marduk's and just kind of say a quiet goodbye.
"You will see him again."
And then I'll
Maybe
get
not.
my marble back.
No. He kind of gives you a toothy smile. You begin to hear groans in the hallways, almost as if the pyramid itself is letting out painful sounds. The crystal still hangs in the air, wounded.
How can we repair this and go up to it for closer inspection? Just kind of see.
You know how it was made, and you know that it was made by the knights, and you know that the knights made it by pouring all their love and devotion into it.
I find myself lacking a bit of love and devotion at the moment, dear sisters.
Silhouette starts walking toward the crystal.
I'm going to motion to Atropos. Come here, I can help you with that.
I walk over to her.
And I'm going to touch her and spend an intellect point to meld minds with her. And I'm going to give her visions, giver style of happiness and warmth.
Atropos,
Fullness.
what was your last memory of when you were most happiest?
The most recent is when we were just together, all of us as a family again. It had been years, and I miss them so much. And it was more than years for Atropos because she's everywhere in time. So
That that feeling fills your heart, and Natia, it almost looks to you as if a pair of angelic wings appear on Atropos. Only you can see them, as this feeling fills her heart.
Yeah. You see Natia's already wide white eyes just widen even more at this. And she finally pulls herself up to her feet with her staff and walks towards this person that doesn't seem to have any strings on them, towards Syl. Very confused because she has never seen anybody without these, barely without any bonds. So she will join Syl at the crystal and look at her with confusion.
All right, so you are at the crystal. What do you do?
Reach out and touch it.
Okay. You have the opportunity now to pour all of your love and devotion into it, should you choose. That may be a difficult memory for you. Would you like to?
I think she wants to. I mean, she understands what's expected here. Like, she knows, and Syl has never had a hard time conjuring up those memories that fill her with
But
love.
she very clearly doesn't have them anymore. Um, so in your mind, uh, what would replace Syl's love? So she has this void. What emotion fills it?
Well, it's a need.
Okay. Um, right now, your need in the fact that you want to fill it with love, you know that's expected. Right now, the crystal is being filled with confusion, and you notice its color starts to go from a blue to a violet to a red. Um, it begins to get spots on it, um, and you notice the crack that it has is starting to get bigger. So go ahead and make an intellect check, just a task 3 to try to prevent it from spreading, if you'd like.
Mm.
Okay, yes. So you stop it from spreading. Um, yeah, you may have to find a substitute for love. Uh, you may have to try to put your devotion into it. Natia, what do you do? You're there beside her.
There's a part of Natia that wants to reach out and touch this person that she doesn't know, but shakes it off
Okay.
and tries to just mirror her and place her own hand onto the crystal.
Natia, what did you do to find comfort when you were in the waste?
I, under the vastness of the void that kind of just stared back at her, under the vastness of the desert that whittled away at her mind, Natia at nights would sit cross-legged and hold the large night sword that she had, now rusted. And she just thinks about each of her siblings. And as she focuses on their strings and notes as to where they have traveled off this time, whether they have gone north or south or east, and imagines where they have gone and thinks about them.
Do you attempt to heal the crystal?
Yes.
Go ahead and make an intellect task difficulty 2.
Okay.
Um, Not quite. So, you notice the crack starts to get larger in the crystal as you do it. you're feeling just so broken. And it may be because Syl is a stranger to you. It may be that the rumbling and shaking in the pyramid is uncomfortable, but you are unable to do that. Atropos or Veriside, are you either of you going to attempt to heal the pyramid?
I would
Yes.
like to do it together after that
Okay.
moment that we shared, kind of hand in hand, if Rizade will have mine. And
Task difficulty 1, intellect check. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Yes, you
And
all
that's
watch as
with the help of
Mytia
someone.
just like flinches away
Yeah.
from the crystal,
All
holding
right.
her head.
That'll do it.
That 20.
Yes.
that's 20.
We
That
did it with the power of friendship.
literally. So you notice the crystal seals up all the way. Its color returns back to a vivid blue and then glows ultra white. All cracks on it heal. Your angel wings dissipate and leave. They pass through your body, through your hands, into the crystal, and it has been fully repaired.
I'm
It is
tired.
then. Yeah. So
Am I?
that is when you notice from the 4 paths that lead into this chamber, north, south, east, and west, creatures wrapped, swaddled, hulking, lumbering, clawed. You haven't seen any like this before. Their eyes are deep sunken holes. The far in the back of their skulls, you can tell a fire glows within. And the guardian mummies of Ertz's pyramid have entered the room. Now, if any of you would like to make an intellect task check to see if you've seen one of these before, if you've known any lore about it, or if you've studied one, I will let one of you roll. And if someone else is helping or helping you recall, that'll help lower the difficulty.
I would like to see if I recall them.
I will assist you in helping recall them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. We're all about the teamwork today.
So this is
Yeah.
a task level. It would have been 4 reduced to a 3.
Okay.
And you do have an asset you can use that you stole from Atlantis. If you want to open it to
Yes.
recall. All right.
I did steal that. Yeah, I'll open it.
Okay. And you notice as you open, you turn right to the page. And you read all about these guardian mummies. You know that they are controlled by the Witch King of Lemuria, and this pyramid is in his domain. And he employs them to guard his brides and grooms and prevent anyone from taking them from him. And when the crystal healed, and when the eye was placed on Atropos, it may have caused them to awake. Something may be calling out to them.
Oh, wait, do I still need to roll or do I know what they are now? Because I read it in the book.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead and roll. Yes.
Well, I mean, you already.
Well, roll just to see if there's an additional.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and everyone take an additional. Yeah, so you beat the task, and everyone also take an additional experience point.
Cool.
So I've also sent you in Discord the title of the book that's in your possession and the dictionary entry.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go ahead and drop that in Marr'd world building on Discord as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Devil lexicon.
Yeah, it has an obsidian black cover, bony brass hinges on the spine. It's a legendary book. It chooses who it wants its owner to be, begs them to write in it, then attempts to get away from them at a time of its choosing. And it chose you.
Ooh.
And with that, let's get some initiative.
Okay.
The dice are really saying that Mytia is messed up as heck.
All right. So anyone who's higher than a 10 is going to go before the guardian mummies, and below the 10 we'll have to deal with them. So Atropos is up first. What do you do? There's 4 mummies, one coming in from each corridor. They each stand about 9 feet tall, so just a little shorter than a basketball hoop. They're hulking. They're wide bodied. They have long claws coming out of their hands. They are wrapped, but they look pretty mobile. They're mobile mummies. What do you do?
I kind of went all out last time. I need to recover a little bit. So that's one action. If I wanted to put points back into my might and speed and intellect.
You can do one action. So you want to recover?
Yeah, during the.
Yep, you can.
Okay.
You can recover.
Okay. Okay. That just lets me put 6 points back anywhere that I had it.
Yeah, and you can split
Okay.
them up amongst the 3 pools.
Okay. Sweet.
And with that, we move to Silhouette.
As the crystal was healed and these creatures started pouring in, as the sisters turned away to see kind of what they were up against, Silhouette just stood with the scissors in her hand and staring at the crystal. And almost, if anyone had been watching, like it was of its own volition, her hand raises and she stabs the scissors down into the crystal.
All right. So when you do that, the scissors pierce the crystal and destroy it, shattering it into hundreds of thousands of pieces. You hear, those of you around this, you hear the most beautiful sounds you've ever heard, like cherished hymns and songs of reverence, joy and love, echoing through the corridors. The sheer might of the force coming out of the crystal evaporates and eviscerates every single guardian mummy, and I need the rest of you to make speed defense rolls to jump out of the way. And the demon clock advances to 6 o'clock.
I'm gonna spend an XP to reroll that. Ayo, got an intrusion.
All right.
Starting early today.
So
Is this just a straight speed check? I'm sorry. I see.
it's a speed defense roll. It's only a task level of 3.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Atropos leaps out of the way, gets behind a sarcophagi as these spiritual hymns and angelic forces emit from the crystal, burning the side of the sarcophagus that she is not on. Both Veriside and Mytia take 4 points of damage to their might pool, but also feel subtle powers developing in their minds. And I'm going to deal both Veriside and Mytia some Cypher powers. and simply take the first power on the card that I just dealt you. And with that, you notice all the structures in the pyramid are collapsing. And we are going to go to our first 5-minute break if we can, Summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, everybody, we will be back in like 5 minutes. So stay here, chill, and see you some stars. Okay, bye.
Why did
Okay, we're back. Everyone's just been yelling since we left.
Somebody broke the crystal, though.
I
We
did
had
it.
one job.
I did a nut-oh. I did a whoopsie.
One job. Heal the crystal.
SpaghettiOs.
My
Here's
hand
the problem.
slipped.
It says heal the crystal, not cleave the crystal like your one.
I misread. I misunderstood.
When last we left our intrepid heroes, they had healed the crystal of Ellis, which contained the love and devotion of all the knights of the distant stars that they had for their queen. It in fact was the fulcrum of the balance of the planet. And then, when facing the peril of the guardian mummies, or perhaps from her innate need to break bonds, Silhouette stabbed and destroyed the crystal, shattering it to millions of pieces, defeating the guardian mummies, however, potentially throwing the fate of the planet out of balance, and the pyramid of Urt is collapsing all around them, large stones falling from above. What do you, the party, do?
Silhouette turns to the party, to her sisters, and you can see that she's trembling all over, and she drops the scissors, and she just says, "I didn't mean to."
You drop the scissors.
Mm-hmm.
That's an intellect task, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Okay.
Difficulty 5.
Uh-oh. Okay.
No. You notice as she lets go of the scissors, she just grabs them in the other hand. And she almost acts as if she has dropped them. See, they're gone now. And waves her empty hand as she holds them in her other.
Well, that's a little bit interesting.
Let's
Yeah.
leave this place.
She looks horrified at her hand that's
Why?
still holding the scissors.
Why
Anyone
don't-
who doesn't want to be crushed by a large stone, make a speed defense check.
Gosh.
Task.
Task-
Yeah, we gotta leave this
Task
place,
two?
guys.
Yeah, it's innately a 2. You may be trained in defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we do that?
Veriside.
Damn, girl.
Wait, how do I do that?
I've just been doing straight rolls unless I have it showing otherwise.
I
When I
just-
set
I
here.
just rolled a speed.
It's just a d20, and if you
Okay.
roll higher, 6 or higher, you succeed. So, bam!
Damn.
We're quick.
Lady.
Good girls in summer against Grant.
Good girls,
No.
there is a distinction right now.
Yes, there's a definite distinction. So you all dodge the stones, and you are able to exit the pyramid. You notice a large battle going on outside. The forces of Lemuria appear to be overrun by riders of the plains. Con riders of the Christ Plains have come to your aid. Leading the charge is one Prince Datatrea, who has following his great horse a beautiful Auroran horse made of starlight. It is in fact the horse that belongs to Silhouette. And they are repelling and reflecting the witches and warlocks from the Stygian towers who would desire to take hold of the pyramid and capture the sisters. 2 princes ride side by side up to the sisters. Datatrea, the betrothed of Silhouette, and his brother Ajmil, the Red Prince. You may reveal yourself, Josh.
Oh my god.
Would you like to make a deal? All right. So they come charging up, and they're like, huh, and they kind of ride, and they form a line to defend you. And Prince Datatrea rides up, and he goes, alas, I have found the young pony, the gift from your family and the wilds, and I return him to you, my love.
Who?
Why so cold? Changed your hair. It's your beloved pony, your family's horse. The horse walks up and greets you, kind of kicks about,
She
licks
kind
your
of
face.
she like moves back from it.
It kind of rears up and backs up too. It's kind of it's getting antsy and nervous around you. Um yeah, sorry. Chat goes, "Old scratch," when they see Josh. Not today, Satan. Uh Silhouette, my love. We saw the armies of the Stygian towers, the warlocks, the witch fins gathering, the forces of hell, the dark witch king of Lemuria. A great call went out. There was a light that could be seen throughout the entire sky. We knew we had to write quickly. Ajmil, how many of ours are wounded? He turns to the Red Prince.
He turns and gazes across the injured. We have enough to continue. I'll see to them, make sure they are properly treated. But his eyes spend far too short a time surveying those who have fallen and spend more time appraising Syl.
Daughter Treya asks, "What has happened here, her fair sisters? What has happened at this place?"
Great tragedy.
Surely the crystal was healed.
It was.
My eyes
This-
split to Summer or Silhouette. Sorry.
So it is a great success. We've repelled the armies of the Witch Kings. We've healed the crystal of Alhusace. The knights of the distant stars should be praised. Where is Brother Marduk? I very much wanted to talk with him.
He was.
He's dead.
Do you not weep for your brother?
Why should I?
Watch your tongue.
Will you ride with me, Silhouette? Will you let me warm you as he approaches you, his arms outreached? You look cold.
She doesn't move. She just kind of stands there.
He embraces you. What do you do?
She just
Do you let-
stands. Yeah, she lets him, but
Oh.
she's not.
He feels the eyes of everyone watching him and her non-reaction, and it's almost as if he winces in pain, and he hates showing pain in front of his brother, almost as if his brother delights in it, and kind of recoils from you. And he just seems confused, and he looks at Natia. Natia, what's your mood? How do you respond?
I'm watching him with curiosity as I actually start approaching him, closing the distance. I say, "You, I don't know you, but your thread. Yes, I've seen. Always intertwined with the golden one. I see yours here, but I don't see the gold thread. Where's Syl?"
I don't know where she is. And
You keep saying that, sister. She's right here.
No,
I don't think she can see her anymore, sister.
She looks like Syl, but she's not Syl. She's not light. Where? I don't see her thread. Her threads are usually here. And she's like clutching at her scarf. She's usually here.
She's still here.
Atreya departs from the sisters, just quiet. The roaring horse stays about the sisters, and Ajmil, the Red Prince, is left with them.
He shifts his gaze from face to face, finally settling on Veriside, and quietly, coolly moves with grace over to stand beside her, and he turns his back on everyone else gathered. So they're shoulder to shoulder, and lowers his voice and says, "You know what she is now, what she will become, and you alone have the capability to halt the process, even for an instant."
Yes, I do.
You know what must be done if you wish to save any scrap of her life, that light that her sister so desperately scours the earth for. You must ink the words.
Do you bind Silhouette by writing your name in the Devil Lexicon?
Yes.
Make an intellect task.
Okay.
Difficulty 4, though your training probably can reduce it.
Okay.
That, and you also name things.
Yeah, I would like to. I'd like to do an action recovery roll as well. I'm pretty drained, and I imagine I could have taken a breath while they were speaking.
Yeah, you have both your immediate one and your 10-minute one.
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna use both of those. Okay.
All right. So where's my there's my rolls. Okay. You are those are some sad recoveries.
Yeah, they're pretty sad. That's okay. That's all I needed for right now, anyway.
All right.
Okay, so
it starts as a task 4.
Okay, so training in names. I think that covers training, so it's down to a 3. I'm going to go ahead and spend the effort. Okay. Right back down it goes. So that's 2.
Well,
I like spending XP. Do it all the time. Hey, there we go.
So you got it down to 2, correct?
Yes.
All right. So you do succeed, and you write Silhouette's name in the book. Silhouette, you see Natia sees this as well. A golden thread move from where your heart used to be into the devil lexicon. Both Natia and Silhouette can see this thread, and at this point, Veriside has you bound, meaning she can command and conjure you and use you to break bonds. But you still have your needs.
Well, yeah, and I still have my scissors too, so snip, snip.
All right, make an intellect test.
If she goes to try to snip it, Natia's gonna stop it.
Okay, so both of you roll initiative.
Okay.
That'll
I'm
determine-
going to
boy.
assist with the stopping of the scissors that stabbed the crystal
No,
earlier.
get off of me.
Yeah. It feels like I would have hesitated even just slightly had you not stabbed the crystal, to write your name in this book. So
Maybe. Okay.
Can I join on this initiative then? I'm going to do it anyways.
God,
Well, I was gonna say, you
I was already suspicious of the scissors when after she
going
stabbed it.
to-
I wanted to stop. Then the boulder came down, and I'm not letting you cut your own thread.
Okay.
I'm momming the situation right now, girls.
Make a might roll versus Silhouette's either speed defense or
Okay.
might defense if she wants to out wrestle you.
What difficulty?
It's going to be opposed, just straight against each other.
Okay.
Oh shit.
All right. So Atropos grabs Silhouette. And she is bound. You notice now you have her Silhouette. You are currently grappled. You could attempt to break the grapple, but you would not be able to cut the you wouldn't be able to cut the thread this turn.
No,
So-
she would struggle.
Now
for...
here's the challenge.
Yeah.
Atropos can't see the thread. She can only see Syl and her scissors. So we have a decision to make.
I just don't want her using her scissors, whatever it's going to be used on, because
Okay.
that's no good.
I need some real scissors.
Yeah, she needs a prop now in this game.
Yeah, Silhouette struggles for just a second. But it's like she was literally just like raising her arm. Like she wasn't even it's not like some huge dramatic gesture. She's
Yeah.
and she says, "Why do you restrain me?" And even though she says it and Atropos like hears her say it, she looks to Veriside.
How do you respond, Veriside?
do you want to give me a reason why I shouldn't weigh it against the destruction of the crystal?
Didn't mean to. Couldn't help it.
She
I meant-
destroyed the crystal.
She destroyed it. I bind you. I meant to do it.
Veriside, you feel the devil lexicon trying to escape from you.
Oh, no, you don't.
Where you notice it almost looks like the spine itself is cracking, containing her name in the book. You may make a might task 3 to hold on to it.
Sure thing. Nope, I let go.
All right. That book is going. You notice it kind of drops and it's sliding almost on its own.
Very quickly, belying his size, the Red Prince will step forward and, with one heavy boot, slam it down the book, pinning it in place. And with fluid grace, quick as a flash, there is a crimson blade in his hand. He's still a few feet from Silhouette, but the tip of the blade is pointed squarely at her sternum, and a very cold smile, entirely without feeling, crosses his lips. And almost under his breath, he says, "Silhouette, just an outline of something that is, but not enough to be on its own." This
I would
book
like-
cannot contain her.
Silhouette, I'd like you to make an intellect defense roll. Task 3. All right. So you have your senses for a second, and you are able to control the scissors, almost like your right proper self. Let me drop your devil clock onto this.
Yeah, cool.
There you are.
We all love
So
that devil
You're
clock.
about it. Yes, you're about at 6 o'clock right now. And the Red Prince has spoken true. The book won't be able to contain her, and if it does, you very likely won't be able to hold the book for long because it is trying to escape you. Now, you have to decide what to do with Silhouette in her current state. Each of you have knowledge of the world. Some of you have studied. Veriside knows that there is a land to the far north, a land that is in permanent twilight, a land where no demon dares walk, nor any Lemurian witch or warlock. But it is a cursed place, they say, where the kingdom is far more barbaric than any other that inhabits this cursed planet. You could also take her to High Brazil and deliver her to the Damsel Messiah, hoping that she could be cured. But it is said the Damsel Messiah has a collection of demons that she finds interesting, and none of them are ever actually cured. Or you could deliver her to the Stygian Towers and give her up to the Witch King. What does the party decide?
I still have her kind of beside me. I look over to my other sisters. I'm not really sure if I should let her go.
I recount to you the land to the north in permanent twilight.
Speak of Arcadia.
Grant,
Yes.
do I see any of my threads leading to the north?
You see in the distance on the horizon a very faint, almost an echo of a golden thread that is familiar, almost as if you see Silhouette to the north, as she was, but in an instant she's gone. And you see a deep crimson red thread moving to the north. And that thread belongs to Ashmiel, the Red Prince.
I look at the prince with some lucidity now. There's a clearness to her eyes that wasn't there before. And she says, and she starts walking up to him. You seem tied to this book somehow, tied some ways. What are you doing here? What do you want? Where are you going?
You know whose land you will have to pass through to reach your destination in Arcadia. Lands I protect. And you wish to travel with this abomination. And he raises his sword just a fraction of an inch towards Silhouette. The only reason she is still drawing breath is for the love I bear for my brother, the feelings that they once shared, the threads that once connected them. You know of what I speak. And now she has taken from him. And you know, you've experienced, you can feel it. What that severing connection feels like. You can feel it now, I can see it all around you. It radiates from you, a chaotic, broken tangle. Trying to find that connection that no longer exists. My brother does not have anyone else. Not like you. He has no further connections to other sisters. No. He had his Silhouette. And now, he has nothing. Not even I can undo that. So now, I take upon his mantle while he recovers, and I am charged with protecting these lands, and you plan to traipse this creature through our territories, the territories we are sworn to protect. What reason do I have to permit any of you to travel another step without cleaving her in twain?
At
Honey,
this
you couldn't
moment,
stop us if we tried.
Silhouette kind of, for a moment, she seems as though she's like looking at all of you for the first time in a while, and she leans into you, Atropos, and she says, "Addie, is that my horse?"
Yes, baby, that's your horse. How long are you here for?
I
It's all right, honey. I just want you to fight. Focus. Stay with me.
The horse approaches you, Silhouette, and Mytia, you can see a silver thread uh, attempting to wrap itself around Silhouette coming from the horse.
I see that briefly, but I turn back to this Red Prince. I say, you think you understand the entanglements of strings? No. You do not. You have not spent 2 years in the waste with nothing but your mind and the universe laughing at you as you try to unwind your fates, my friend. Now, what you do not understand about the nature of strings is that yes, you can cut them, but you can tie them again. It is happening now. You cannot see, you will never be able to see. Not like I have, not like I wish it upon you. There is a possibility, another end to whoever this is. Through your lands. If you wish to bring peace upon your brother, then I ask that we pass, attempt to heal, attempt to retie these bonds. You are muted.
Oh,
No, he's just silent.
technical difficulties? Nope, can't
I
hear
have
you.
no idea.
No?
Can't hear you.
No.
In this moment, actually, as Mytia is saying these things, for the first time, her sisters recognize her as she used to be, with leadership and poise, standing tall. You could almost see her armor on her instead of this strange waist witch outfit that she has on.
Seems that for once we're all in accordance with something. It's good. Have us moving down the right path again. Syl, you're still here. And that is your horse.
Your horse approaches you again. It playfully trots up to you as it once did. It recognizes you perfectly, regardless of the color.
There we
Oh,
go.
Josh is back.
Huh. Very odd.
Addie, would you take these from me? I can't drop them. And she like gestures to the scissors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can I take them from her? Does her hand let me? Or is she still
It does right
subconsciously?
now.
Oh boy,
right
they're
now.
mine. Yep. I give her a kiss on her cheek after I take the scissors and I get as far away from her as I can.
All right. Silhouette, you
Mhm.
need to make an intellect defense check. Pass difficulty 5. Because it was very easy to let go of the scissors, but you want them back.
Great.
Oh no, girl! Sweetie,
All
I love
right.
you, but you're not getting these back.
Well, describe to me, Silhouette, how you attempt to break the bond between yourself and your horse with your bare demon hands.
No!
I knew it.
No.
I don't want to do that. Okay.
You were so evil, Grant. You were so messed up, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
So can I see this thread?
Yep. You and Mytia.
Silhouette, I think everyone would see, except for Mytia, would see her reaching out towards her horse, as if she were going to like reach out and pet it.
Yeah, as you do that, I'm like, I remember that horse. What was its name again?
I had one of you.
No.
She just now realized that her horse is missing, and she's like, oh.
Shit, my horse. But just before she makes contact with her horse, Mytia, you see her hands wind around this thread, and there's like a shift where she was before, but she's not anymore, and starts to just like rip it apart with her hands.
All right. So you sever the bond between yourself and your horse. The horse, as soon as that bond is severed, it falls like a star from the sky and disappears before you very quickly. It turns and it looks towards Atropos just before it goes. Its eyes meet yours, and it ceases to be. And Silhouette, there's only one bond that you have your eyes set on now, and it's the bond between you and that book. Ajmil stands between you and breaking that bond, though. and he is the greatest swordsman who has ever lived. And you see, and Nytia see, uh, if Atropos had the wings of an angel, he has wings of a dragon and fire.
Okay. That's cool.
She turns and faces him and says, "Even if you hold it for now, it won't last."
You're not helping our cause in taking you north, sister.
I will not be a prisoner to that book.
No. Not to the book. And he leans down with his free hand, picks up the book, and he watches his grip tightens on the book. And as it does, it seems to warp the string that connects it. And it seems to bubble out in places. And then, to those of you who can see the thread, you realize that it's not bubbling, it's changing from what looks to be a thread to a chain. And he yanks it. Not as hard as he can.
Silhouette, make an intellect defense roll. Task 4.
Nytia is just immediately kind of stuff like, what are you
Jeff,
doing?
What is with these hot rolls?
Okay, so you are now bound and controlled by the Red Prince, and your scissors are held by Atropos. However, common sense sort of dictates you're getting nowhere fast, and it appears that the Stygian Lemurian Warlock and Witch Alliance is getting ready to rally for a second offensive.
What are you doing?
Shackling your sister so she does not cause any more destruction. And then I will save all of you against my desires. And I am going to march you north, whether you like it or not, because I will not allow this evil to persist. I will not allow it to threaten my people. So, now you have a simple decision. You are either with me. And as he says that, 4 runes appear on the ground, circles that are flicked through with flames of red and strange sigils that are alien to all of you. And materializing in those places are the image of the Red Prince, slightly distorted and heavily armored. And all of them, in the same way he did with fluid grace, draw swords as 4 knights appear around him. Or you stand in my way. And then he just wraps his hand around the chain, bringing it taut, and stares at Nytia.
What do you do?
Nytia takes the sword from her back, pulls it out as what you imagine was a fairly ornate sword in its time, but now it's rusted. Our threads look like it's been intertwined for now. But if you ever threaten me, you ever threaten my sisters again, all that will remember you are the distant stars.
And you notice, Ajmil, that The sword is held and balanced perfectly in her hands. Though she may not have drawn it in many years, it knows her grip.
There's a slight smile, an earnest smile that curls the corner of his lips. Then let us see what the great sisters are made of. And very smartly and on the point, holding the chain to his hip, as if walking a beast, he turns and leaves.
Yeah, Silhouette follows.
Well, I guess it's not our first time dancing with devils.
Now, I have a question for the party.
Yes,
Is the full party in agreement that you want to head north to Arcadia?
I am in agreement.
Are there any conversations that happen along the way?
I want to know what we can do to get this taint out of Silhouette. Is this something that is going to reside with her and forever? There's obviously something just deeply discordant in her soul.
So the individual that has the most information about this would be Veriside. And Veriside, make a intellect task check to see if you can recall what answer lies in the north to Arcadia.
Sure. And while we're walking, can I take my hour recovery roll?
Yep. Anyone may take any recovery rolls.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
a great idea. Okay. Oh. Oh, and at some point, I want to take out my compass and just see if it does anything along the way. That's my compass with the white ivory carved sparrow.
Oh, I know. That
okay.
always points to Ogden Lake.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't know what direction it pointed to. Thanks for telling me.
well, you know.
Oh, that's the dowsing
you
rod.
notice?
The dowsing rod.
Okay, yeah, your dowsing rod always points to
I
Ogden
was
Lake.
like,
No,
you told me I didn't know where my compass went. So
Okay.
sweet. Okay.
Roll a d8.
Can I just roll 1d8 it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Praise law. Sorry.
So it is pointing deep to the north, and you notice the compass begins to shake, and the sparrow's wings begin to flap rapidly as you approach the lands to the north. Now, I have questions for you. Do you want to go carefully or quietly? Quickly or quietly? Carefully and quietly are kind of
Quietly, considering Silhouette had pointed out that we had attracted the attention of literally everything. So hopefully moving in some kind of obfuscation would be agreed upon right now.
It's going to take longer unless you have any artifacts, ciphers, or assets that speed up your travel. Do you have any?
Is Chaos Sphere navigation something that would fall within that realm?
It might as well be. So we'll say you can navigate more quickly and guide through the more careful paths, and that'll mitigate the need for Silhouette to make checks against her humanity and lose it more and more.
Okay, that's one of my ciphers, so I'll do that.
Now, along the way, you come across 3 Knights of the Distant Stars.
I'm sorry. Before we do this, can I make that
Can you make
intellect
your roll?
roll
Yes, please.
to answer her
I
question?
gotta remember to actually let you make your rolls.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey! So you know that there is a wizard at the end of the world, and he is in the Sapphira, which is the world spire. It's an impossibly tall, lean, narrow tower that is built out of hardened blue metals, and it reaches into the highest points of the world. If anyone knows the answer, the wizard knows the answer. However, your instincts say there is no way to cure her. However, there is a way to help her find happiness without breaking bonds.
Boo.
Oh yeah, throughout this entire journey, Mytia has been in step with the Red Prince, because she's on this journey with us, because she...
I'm going to allow you to ask the Red Prince 2 questions that he must answer honestly.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you may ask them now.
Okay. There must be something else other than just love for your brother that pushes you to do this. What drives you to do this?
He seems to have not heard you for the longest of time. It seems as if he doesn't plan to answer as he scans the horizon. But when he looks back to you, you actually catch a moment of pain in his eyes. And he sees that you've seen it. And he gazes and with a wide gesture points to the land you walk through. I have been fighting this fight for so long. I have seen true evil. Not this twisted apparition that was your sister. I've seen the face of true evil, the Witch King himself. And ever since that day, I've known that I must protect my people. It's not a matter of why I do it. It's because I can do it. I have faced him alone in single combat, and I drove him back. And ever since I knew that I had that ability, that I had that within me, that drive, that resolve, that burning, I knew that I couldn't shy away from it, that I must do whatever it takes to keep these lands protected, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure that these lands remain ours.
Mytia seems to nod with some understanding. Again, she's somehow maintaining some form of lucidness.
I'm going to talk to Syl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you still have one more question that you can
Yes.
ask. Yeah.
I still need to think about that though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
to Syl very quickly. I don't touch you, I just approach you and I say, Silhouette, when you are ready for me to help you, I will.
How do you mean?
You're a demon now, I know this. In Atlantis, where I was, they experimented on demons, but kept them there And not all demons are the same, and I know this, and I don't know what you're going through, but I've seen it happen before, and if you're ready, I can help you.
She looks down at her hands and her arms, and you can still faintly see the white tattoos. And she kind of smiles a little bit, and she says, "They don't glow."
I know. But you're still the same person you were before.
I have the strangest feeling when I look at you. Like something's missing.
Likewise.
I want it back.
I know. Just you let me know, because I can't force your hand in this.
Whenever I try and think about what I want, it gets foggy. But if I could want to get better, then maybe I would, but I don't.
You let me know if you want to pretend for a while then.
Why should I pretend to be anything but what I am? I don't ask you to be anything that you're not.
If you never did, I would never be a part of this family.
So you all want me to change?
It's not too hard.
I'll think on it.
Giving up what you are to be somebody else, it's not that hard.
Sounds hard. Sounds unpleasant.
It's something, all right. It's something.
Maybe. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You let me know anytime you're ready to remember who you were.
All right.
You approach the edge of Arcadia. The sky turns to twilight and fills with colors that you have never seen before. Only Veriside had read about them in books, and Atropos had seen them in her dreams. Now, I have placed an asset card on the table. Atropos, you may take this card. During the travel, your foresight into the future has given you a boon, so to speak. So you can right click and take that asset card that is in Roll20. And is there any question? I'll allow you to ask one question of any other player or the game master that must be answered truthfully. And this would be based on your ability to look into the future and travel through time.
You are muted.
How do I make Silhouette whole again, Game Master?
Okay. Silhouette can't be made whole on this plane of existence. She must be sent someplace else. And only the wizard at the end of the world can send her there. And it's a scary place. But that is where she can be made whole.
The end of the world?
Yep. It's in Arcadia.
Which is
Zephyrus Spire.
Yep.
All right, then.
So there is a wizard there in Arcadia, and he can send her there.
All right.
And Mytia, you can ask your last question.
As we reach this border, I imagine Ajmil and I have been mostly walking in silence after that first question. Mytia just says, I understand what it's like to see things that shouldn't be seen. You should know you can feel it off of me. It's hard to know things. It's hard to have that weight upon you. So I must ask, knowing your duty, are you truly going to let us leave after this in peace?
Oh, good one.
He looks to you, and around the knights that had been tending to sort of the convoy and guarding his brother seem to shift their focus towards you as he does, all at once, as if all of the same mind, all hearing yet impossibly far. And there is a very sad smile that flickers across his face. There is no peace to be found in this land, but there are deals that can be struck. I have a question for you.
So fast.
You see
answer
the
two of mine.
bonds. You see the bonds between sisters, between lovers. You see the bonds between everyone. But bonds are made of feelings, memories. What was Silhouette to you, to the others? Is she worth risking all of your lives? And if so, why?
Is he asking this to all of us or just Natia?
Just to Natia.
For the first time, she pulls off her scarf that she's been wearing this entire time, which you'll notice has been woven of multicolored thread, bits of shell, bone, glass woven into it. And she pulls to the ends, and she shows you the phrase and says, look, what do you see?
I see a great weave.
You do. And the only strength that holds these weaves together are the strings itself. together as one. Same things for the bonds that make up this fabric of reality. But the fabric of myself, they are made of the strings that attach me and my sisters and my brother. When one is picked at and pulled away, everything unravels.
When one is taken, everything unravels.
Our golden thread is gone. I see an end of it. I wish to weave it back. You must understand.
I understand perfectly. Because I too have lost. And he glances back, and all 4 guards surrounding his brother look at his brother, who seems to have weakened as the travel has taken its time, as if something is eating away at him, and he becomes almost indistinct, hard to look at, hard to focus on, as if he's there, but no matter how badly you want to pick out the features of his face, his body, everything, he is just something in your periphery. It's hard to see him. And Ajmil looks to you and says, "He is my brother, the great Khan. He has led this land through the peace that we have secured. But that peace, the mark, has drawn them here. All eyes from all walks of life, they turn, they see, and now they will come, and he will return. I make a deal with you right now. Your actions, the actions of your sisters, have thrown the world out of balance, and I held him back once. But I am not the man I once was. I do not have my brother's love. We do not have him to rally behind. It is just I. And I must fight him. The Witch King will return. Your sister would make a weapon that could be used against him. But I know what it's like to lose that thread. So give me some way of fighting him without having to use her. I beg of you.
Mytia nods.
Atropos, holding the scissors, do you cut the chains between the Red Prince and your sister silhouette?
Can I see them?
Now you can.
Absolutely.
And the bonds are broken.
Kind of twirl the scissors in my fingers a little bit, like, oops, dear me.
Mytia,
Holster it like a gun in my belt.
do you pick up the devilexicon, Mytia? It's there in front of you.
Her concerns with Ajmil right now and what she's going to try to do.
Well, Ajmil knows that his job here is done, and he has taken you to the borders of Arcadia. And he also knows, and as the bonds are cut, Atropos seems to fade from existence. He kind of disappears, almost as if wasn't ever there at all. Ajmil, what do you say before you return to your lands to the south?
If you ever wish to find your way home, sisters, know that you will not be welcome in this land again, whilst that creature rests beneath the surface of her skin. Says I, Ajmil, the Red Prince, and the one true Khan.
And with that, Prince Ajmil Datatreya, the one true Khan, departs. And you see in the stars the formation of a great creature forming.
We can at least like give him a handshake goodbye, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. Reach forward. You've been most wise.
He looks at the hand, shakes his head, looks to the rest. I hope you are happy with the havoc you have wrought. For you may not recognize the world tomorrow.
Reds are still here, Ajmil. Until it all unravels, they'll still be here. And perhaps we can weave it back together. I'm going to place a hand onto his chest. I want to try to pull as many threads of allies as I can towards him.
His thread is quite familiar as you pull it. It's less crimson. You've seen this thread before. You've seen it entangled with Silhouette. And but you also notice as you pull that thread, it turns crimson red in a fleeting glance.
So I pull his thread, and I'm reaching up and just grabbing hold of as many threads of people that I know could possibly in some way help. And I am trying to twist them together, not tie, twist them together.
You're able to lash them together simply and delicately and graciously. And Silhouette, I need you to make an intellect defense roll. Four. At 20. You prevent the clock from going from 7 to 9. And with that, Ajmil departs, and the great dragon descends from the stars and is about 100 yards off from the party. And he is the guardian to enter Arcadia. And that is where we will begin next session.
What? It's over already?
It's over already.
No!
That guy was very rude. That guy didn't even shake my hand.
Oh, that was so good.
Ugh.
Like, he can't stop us if we just keep going, right?
Well, he can't go into Arcadia, and you're the first demon to ever set foot there.
I'm talking about you, buddy.
Oh,
if we keep
yeah.
playing.
I knew that's what you meant. I was like, we'll just keep playing.
So-
You got a dragon right here.
What I like about the new game coming out from Monty Cook Games, Invisible Sun, is they have mechanisms for players to keep playing after the game ends. So at a high level. So yeah, I know. Summer's like, what?
What?
Gimme.
We can live inside of here forever.
Yay.
I don't know if that's this world though.
Yeah, it's a
That's
tough
here.
one.
Being able to close the book is really nice.
I don't know. I kind of want to take over Jarl's job, but that's just me.
I kind of like that pharaoh job.
Oh
Just,
man.
mm.
Oh, you guys.
That seems like a pretty sweet job to have.
If you look at the stars tonight, yeah, you can see his chariot taking Marduk to. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god.
So let's turn the time over to our demon friend, host of the show.
Yeah. Dang. Well, tonight was really, really good. And I felt a lot of feelings all the way up to the bitter end. So we're going to go around and let these people will tell you where they can find you on the internet. And then we will...
Do we want to do a Q&A with the chat for a bit?
Yeah, we totally can.
Q&A.
Sure.
Yay. Let's
Do we bring back
decompress a
Josh?
little.
Yeah, Josh, come back.
Josh,
Come back, Josh.
Josh,
come
where
back.
are you? Is he
Hey.
gone?
He's like, I went to go get food. Bye.
Oh,
No, yeah. Let's decompress.
10 out of 10.
Decompressing's good.
yeah, decompressing time.
Yeah, decompressing time.
Ooh.
All right, any questions you guys got for us?
Is it weird if I take off my wig right now?
Do it.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
for it.
Yes.
The wig's coming off.
Oh.
It's time to get real. Oh, man.
It's actually the same haircut. It's just black.
I mean, seamless. I wish I could have done that. Session 1. Oh, well.
So
Yeah,
any questions that chat has for us?
I got a couple.
Oh yeah, or that the players can ask.
Are y'all
Now's a
doing okay? That's a great question.
I'm
Right.
still reeling from Marduk being gone, and now you're a fucking demon, so no, I'm not okay. Like,
I don't know if this was the best group to do this campaign with, but I also think it's the only group that we could do this campaign with.
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
What part's the most fun for you?
Oh,
Oh.
the despair.
yeah, I really enjoy the awfulness of it.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I like playing morose characters, and it's easy to fall into that role here.
Yeah, it's actually your Menzo Baranzing campaign was somewhat inspirational because the Patreon, you could have those like darker RP sessions where it's like, hey, if we want to explore through role-playing games kind of a darker world, let's do that. And also the Long March, Josh's campaign, was a inspiration for this. Watching, well, he throws his hand, but it's like, no, like one of the first sessions I watched on Encounter Roleplay was right after GexCon last year. I watched Tall Squall, you, Josh, and Will all play on
Zoom lives. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the questions asked by chat, what are your first impressions of the game? So let's let each player answer, starting with let's just go top to bottom on my screen. So Summer.
I really like it. If we're talking about this campaign, then I mean, I knew I was gonna love it. If we're talking about the system, which I think was another question, I also really like it. I played The Strange the weekend before we started this, and it was just the best time. Hysterical, so much fun. I had such a good time, and so I kind of got to get acquainted with the system. But I really like it, and setting the difficulty levels, I think, is really an interesting part of the mechanics. So yeah, I mean, 2 sessions in, it's going great. My rolls haven't been totally great, but that's not the fault of the
they were all
of the
great.
system. Yeah.
And Marsie.
First impression of the game. It's really hard to explain to people, like to pitch it like, hey, watch the show we're in, because it's like it's very esoteric. And I think a big part of it was grasping the fact that the actual setting that we're using is very esoteric as well, and that we're building into it. So whenever everybody's like, we don't know what's going on, it's like, we don't know either. And that was my first impression, was sort of just leaning into whatever was happening next, and being the anchor in reality that says, yes, this is part of the world now.
That's very much the way the setting's designed. They tell you right in the back, they go, look, I'm not going to tell you what the devil lexicon is. I'm going to mention it 100 times, but you just make up what it is and give it to your players at some point. Have them write in it.
There's a lot of fluidity.
What were your first impressions of the game, Laura Lania?
I'm so used to being confined by a strict set of rules, and having how open this is, it's really tempting to do a lot of messed up shit, because you just want to see how far you can push before they go, I don't know about that. It's really liberating. I enjoy it quite a bit.
She's explained it really well, that the more the players know about the world, or even I'd say just the more they know each other and their characters, that would be my own philosophical take on it. It becomes really hard as a game master to say no. Like, I mean, story-wise, it's like, no, don't let Silhouette not cut her threads because Summer wants to. But it's like, no, you can stop her. You're her sisters. You can grab her and be like, and I like how Silhouette's like not even resisting. She's like, what?
Totally the dark, edgy goth sister. Like,
oh man,
I didn't do anything. God,
I wasn't even doing anything.
And Kienna.
Oh man, I remember first reading the primer and how it was just like, this is a story about family and tragedy. And I was like, all right, it's where we are. And I feel that's a thread that has really been touched upon and drawn upon as such good emotional material. And that's kind of what I'm really feeling, is the fact that this is a story driven by us and driven by those feelings, which is so refreshing. And we can craft all of these cinematically sad and beautiful moments. Like, man, having Mytia lucid for once. The fucking Red Prince brought her out of her fucking insanity for once. And it was just like, don't you dare threaten my sisters.
That was a really good moment. That was very scary. You went from going all wibbly wobbly to, I will cut you.
It was so good. I got chills.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's the fact that we're able to kind of make those moments happen and make those shifts happen in those little almost vignettes that are all connected, that I really, really enjoy. And yeah, I don't know. It's just so cool.
Now, Josh has played Cypher system on Encounter Roleplay.
I've played
many times.
Quite a bit of Cypher, actually.
Yeah.
I've played it in different settings as well. So it's for me. I played Numenera, which was the first non-fantasy role-playing game I ever played. But it kind of was, and that was an absolute blast, and I immediately loved the fact that I kept turning around to the DM and going, "Can I try this?" And he went, "Yeah, sure, go for it." And I'm like, "Really? Are you sure about that? Are you sure you want to let me try this?" And the freedom is really liberating, but also, it was really nice because once you have Cypher under your belt, then there's fantasy. There's nanos or casters. There's jacks who sort of give that great versatility. There's glaives, and like when I was talking to Tia about getting characters together, I was like, oh my god, there are so many new things that I have. Like I was like, there's 3 classes. No, like there's so much more now, and it's insane. And but one of the things I love about it is it's underpinning in character creation for me. It is you are a something that's something. So to make your character, you just write a sentence essentially. So you could be a mad Jack who bears a halo of fire, or you could be a curious glaive who speaks to the echoes or something. And it's just, first of all, it will always sound amazing, whatever you write. And secondly, it gives you so much to play with. It doesn't stifle you. So to echo what Tia said, it really helps tell a story. And I've seen it done in fantasy. I've seen it done in like steampunk apocalypse. I've seen as much as sort of this and in sci-fi, and I've used it for pretty much everything. It's my go-to when my players are like, hey, we just want to run a one-shot. I'm like, we're going to do it in Cypher system because it's 3 pools. It's the easiest thing. I'll cannibalize it to whatever I need it to be, and it'll just work. So it's a bit alien to get into, but once you're in there, I cannot recommend it enough. So, and I'm just a guest star. I'm not even in the whole thing. I'm just some pleb who
I had to involve Josh. So Wiley Hobbit asked the question, how much is story set in advance and how much is unfolding right in front of you? So this shouldn't break anything, but if I switch my camera, it may mess up. So this is my adventure notes. I make all my adventure notes available. I just write down the characters' names and kind of who they are. The first adventure, I think I wrote down more than that. But then I just write my start. The sisters must heal the crystal. They must deal with the rising tides of hell. They must deal with crumbling rocks and crackling ground. They must fill the crystal with love and memories of love.
Yeah.
And I jot down potential scenes: the crystal, the escape, the witch king. Oh, I totally forgot about Nimrod. He was supposed to be in there. Yeah, but he'll show up some other time. The impossible tower, a trek through the waste. And then I just write down some secrets and clues. Like,
I have a question for Grant.
Yeah.
What is
So
wrong with you?
how long does it take you to write those sweet rhymes that you busted a move at for the beginning of the episodes?
Never more than 10 minutes. I normally do like 5 or so. Like I wrote this one while we were, like, you can see that it's the same one on.
I hate you. I wish I had that.
I can do those pretty fast, and I do them on every show now.
You're such a dork, and I love you.
Yeah. This week was rap week, busting flows on. Whoa!
Everything got
messed up everything. Yeah, I messed up everything.
It's okay. It's the end.
Oh,
Who cares?
I know why this isn't working. I know why. Sorry. Let me close that.
Look at you're me, Josh. I'm Kienna.
Who am I? I can't see yet.
All right.
Who am I?
Sorry.
You're
Sorry,
Grant.
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But
Here we go.
So,
I am
the
the
way
Grant
it works
now.
with the prompts.
Look at me. I am the Grant now.
Yes. So I do give them a 1-line prompt. And so this week, Summers was, this is what I am now. The other girls I gave them, and that's what I remember of Silhouette, or something to that effect.
That's how I choose to remember my sister's silhouette.
Okay. Yes.
Blessed, yes, sister who walks
yeah.
the plains.
And then I thought it would be good if Laura Lania wrote Marduk's eulogy that will be placed in the dictionary. And
which he asked me to write 9 minutes before we went live, by the way, people. He's like, hey, just write this emotional eulogy about your brother in 9 minutes.
those
So
were the best
And you
ones.
popped it off, and you did it.
It was amazing. I almost cried. Almost. But alas.
Grant's never cried. Grant
well,
doesn't
I'll break his heart one day. Don't you worry.
I don't know. We'll see. This game gets to me though. Like, I had to take a long time after the first session, after we killed Matt Mercer. What other questions does chat have? So Elle goes, Grant, first of all, how dare you? How dare I what?
I mean, that's a good question. How dare you?
That's a good
Specific
question.
with your feedback.
Here's
I'm just-
why.
Where you get off?
I'm just thinking about that fucking meme somebody made of us of the
Which
the-
one?
the Why did Grant do this? The fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the meme! Oh my god, that was so funny! I actually laughed out loud in bed when I saw that.
Did I miss it?
Okay, yes.
You must have, I
mean-
guess.
Who
What
made
was it?
that? Okay, no,
We'll
it's
see if we can find it.
Actually, Bruce did.
Yeah, it was so good. Why would you do this, Grant?
Oh, man.
Is that-
Let me
Yeah,
see.
you missed the best meme of the
I put it in the Zoom chat.
It's so good. Life on Marr'd guest sisters. Why would Grant do this?
Hold on, I think I
Please
can.
put this in chat for everybody else.
Wait, I think I can map it. Hold on.
Holy crap!
Please
oh,
do
like,
it.
delete it, dude. It's just
I am.
so good.
My lungs hurt.
I know, dude.
Wait. Oh no, I can't. I'm trying.
I like seeing Grant see it for the first time. This is good.
I'm so glad.
The bottom just says, "Why would Grant do this?" It's ridiculous.
We didn't kill you this time round, Josh. You survived.
Yeah, you
And
survived.
Tia helped you. God damn it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, fuck off, Josh.
Oh no! Why did we do this? Why did
Oh,
Grant
no.
do this?
He's dead.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Shit! Dead. Well, okay, we gotta go. We gotta clean up a murder.
I guess I need a
Bye.
new boyfriend. Bye.
Yeah.
There it is. He's fine.
So close.
Yeah, for those in chat too that are interested in some of the inspiration, yes, this is Elle's fault because she did introduce Z introduced. Apologize, I try to use correct pronouns. They're not on the screen. Z introduced Elle and or Summer and myself
Mhm.
to
Polaris.
Polaris. I was actually flying across the country and I bought the wrong versions and ended up getting the right version eventually.
Mhm.
And Polaris is actually based on Sorcerer, which is the game that the Dictionary of Mu is set in. And Summer loved Polaris as well, and it was one of the inspirations to put together Life on Marr'd, where I decided the characters would be part of these Knights of the Distant Stars and have tragic tales. The other influences were Adventure Time, and because there's kind of this tragic, sad undertone to a lot of what happens in...
Josh hasn't seen Adventure Time yet, and it kills me. It kills me.
It,
It's okay.
I have a limited amount of time and I do a lot of stuff. So I apologize.
Come on.
I will get around to
Yeah,
it at some point.
But Josh, cartoons. Cartoons.
Not just any cartoons. Adventure
Don't-
Time and
But
Simon
cartoons.
and Bubblegum Princess.
Me and Tia were on holiday, and like the first day we were like, we could go out, we could explore, and everyone was like messaging me like, what did you do? And I didn't have the heart to turn around and go binge watch the entirety of Rick and Morty in a hotel room. Literally the whole of Rick and Morty, 3 seasons. Just
And room
it was-
service is good
It
too.
was so good.
Wait,
No regrets.
Adventure Time is on the list, but yeah, you have to see it. Adventure Time is so like if you just come in the middle of the show and start watching it, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this? It's the stupidest thing ever. But if you watch it from the
Need to
beginning,
binge watch it.
you
Yeah.
have to watch it from the
You
beginning.
watch it from the beginning, you still might go, what the fuck is
But
this?
oh no, like
To be honest.
Flame Princess speaks to my soul. Lumpy Space Princess speaks to my soul. Like they're
You have a lumpy space princess dress.
I do.
She does.
I also have a solid Jake, or it's not solid Jake. Jake hat. Solid Jake is the name of a caster. Sorry.
She also
Jake
has
dog hat.
She also has art drawn by my older brother, who's one of the artists. for the
Yes,
show.
it's right over there. I have it by my vanity. I keep
Yeah.
it by me all the time. Mr. Sam Ellis, the person who does the caricatures for Archer and the comic books for Adventure Time, which I used to collect, but it's hard to find copies of nowadays.
And he's currently the senior art director at Konami, who did like the Metal Gear Solid
Yep.
series. like that. So
He is
yeah, my brother is more famous than me. So is my sister and my other brothers. And
No. You're hanging out with us. That makes you the most
Just
famous.
I know, right?
Just
Yeah.
out of
Look
curiosity.
who's the company that you're in right now. Gosh.
Exactly.
Like,
Can I just ask, though, I have a serious question now. Are any of them the wise Papa Grant himself?
No, and it's funny. I tweeted
There
out
we go.
like my kids made a character for me in Terraria, and they were like, "Why is Papa Grant?" And asked my son, "What's your father's name?" He goes, "Why is Papa Grant?" At age 5. So it
Aww.
sticks. He knows the internet celebrity. So any other questions? And the whole reason this game came about was because Summer said, "I want a game where I can be a demon." And the other party members have to deal with it.
So in Polaris, you each play a character called a heart, which is basically like what your main character would be, and then you also are somebody else's like antagonist. They're mistaken, so your only purpose is to cause that person misery, to fuck with them and to ruin their life. And I said, I want to be every demon in Polaris. I wanted to be every mistaken. And Grant was like, I can make that happen.
That game's called Sorcerer, which Polaris was based on.
And I got my way, which is why I was smiling so much when I got to stab the crystal. I was like, I can't even feel that bad about it. Like I do, but I was really excited too.
I crit on healing that crystal, and then you broke it. You should feel very bad.
I asked if I could stab it first.
More importantly than that, you realize that you literally wasted Matt Mercer's life because he basically died and you were just like, cool.
The interesting thing is
bad person, Josh. Why would you point that out? Now she's not going to be able to sleep at night.
I mean, I was thinking it. I'm glad somebody said it.
Summer's just sitting there like,
Veriside.
You did it.
So, and a note about that too, like I can speak a little bit to involving Matt Mercer. I made some tweets about it, but not everyone follows me on Twitter, but you should.
Grade A content.
I do.
But so the idea there was I wanted, if we were playing in person, I'd have props, and Matt Mercer was literally my prop. He agreed to be it because he was, one, a very recognizable face, two, he is beloved by the audience, three, he's beloved by the players. And I told him I wanted him to sort of have this tragic die like Aslan in Narnia moment. And I wanted to create a strong emotional connection, then cause this powerful kind of emotional drift into losing someone you love, as well as watching someone you love kind of lose their identity and become something else. They develop a new identity, which is kind of metaphorical and it's a little heavy-handed. And of course, I'm going to get call in my favor with Matthew Mercer, and but he totally loved playing the first episode, and he's very competitive too, and I could tell there's a bit of him there that goes, now hold on, what if I kill this devil? What if I fight? What if I win? Because he's very competitive, and he would even say things, you can notice he's like, maybe there's bad guys hiding in the sandstorm outside of the pyramid, and we're going to fight those guys. He was competitive, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that next time I run this. I'm not running this campaign again. I might run.
I love the conversation. Clear. It was just like Grant, just there, like, hey Matt, hey, yeah, it's Grant, yeah, that Grant, yeah.
Why is Papa Grant? Yes.
Like, what's that about? Because I got this burning need to kill you, and I've got a friend who's got a burning need to just torture people's lives. So we're gonna like combine the two things. Is that cool? Is that? Yeah, Carl will be there shortly. Yeah, fantastic. Okay. kill you soon. Kill you soon. Okay, bye.
Only it's like, I'm not outside in your bushes. So look, I'm not exiting the bushes. And okay, hi. Yeah, I'll leave now.
Yeah, Summer can attest to how betrayed I felt that she knew she was going to turn into a demon in this campaign.
Yeah.
Because she and I are secrets people. We tell each other the secrets that we can't tell anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out,
I've been keeping a very good secret, and my need.
I may have yelled at her for a good hour.
I can't wait to get yelled at about my need that I picked.
Yeah, you picked the one to go against Mytia's fucking whole thing.
Well, we didn't know you were going to build your character that way. Kienna and Summer and I were like, oh no.
I actually
no.
caught on to it when you posted the art of Syl, which was a commission design
Mm-hmm.
of it that was very clearly recently made by Eric Bulgaris. And I was like, there's something different here.
Yeah. I was so upset. I was upset in the good way. Being like, how dare you? But also I love this. Let's
love
keep
it too.
going.
And then also you mentioned Polaris, and I was like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
I'm afraid I have to go and wrest control of many kingdoms.
Oh, it's also like 3 in
my
the morning there for you, isn't it?
from my
So
brother.
yeah,
20 to 4, but that's I've got an entire plains to save now, thanks to the actions of the sisters here, the good sisters. The good
okay.
girls against
I
So-
tied so many allies to you.
Indeed.
Don't even.
Absolutely. And if you want to get tied to me, check me out on Encounter Roleplay on Tuesdays, where you can find me in the Long March. Just after that, where you can find me on Midgard campaign. Fridays, just before this, a couple of hours back, I was on the Firefly campaign with Tia, and you can follow me at Encounter Josh. And if you want to see me suffer, check out Turncloak's pod. Boosh. Tied it in.
Nice.
There's a string that connects. See.
Got
Oh
it.
my god. Get me out of here.
that's why
I
he's
can
the
hear
man.
will in your voice, like
Was the perfect cadence.
yeah. Just need him to come running, screaming in the background, and I'm a DD6 icon.
Everyone is shocked. Laura Laney is like the most balanced character in this campaign who's not
Isn't that
even
weird?
little.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
so
highly-
weird?
She's a mad time traveler, and she's more balanced than the rest.
She's
of
not
them.
mad. I'm the mad one. She's weird.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is why
There's
I
a
wanted
heavy
to do the
difference.
different fluctations of like voices with her. I
accents
wanna,
and stuff.
yeah.
I picked
Yeah.
up on that. I was
So-
just-
So
also-
I'm the crazy one.
Yeah.
To make chat aware, there's a second campaign that's happening simultaneously as this one called The Dark Side of Marr'd, where their actions have impact on this campaign, and this campaign has impacts on that, even though they are very separate stories. You can check that out next Friday on my channel. It's where I'm playtesting. I'm essentially practicing Cypher system because I really like it. This is only my 3rd time running it.
Oh, really? Did not have that feel at all.
It was my first time, the last time we played.
Nice.
Yeah, you can thank
Did
Marsie
not know that.
Game Master.
Very good.
Easy to grab. But I'll turn the time back over to Summer. I'm going to have to call it a night over here myself as I'm still under the weather. But
Yeah. Everybody here, we'll post everything on Twitter where you can find them, where we blow up Twitter constantly. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, everybody. So have a fantastic night, and we will see you in 2 weeks for the conclusion of our story of the Fated Sisters. We'll see what lies in store for them. So good night, everybody. Thank you for
Bye.
joining us tonight.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.
So long.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.